Alright, we have a super serious, super SRS discussion to take, guys. What is going on? My name is Poe, and welcome to the channel. This is a post-commentary, if you will. I haven't done these in a while, but I really wanted to discuss the current state of Rush. And, not the band, the game type. In case you guys may not have known, it's still in the game. You probably just don't know it's there. And it's understandable. It's easy to forget. So, Rush was my favorite game type up until Battlefield 1. It was incredible, it was just a great game. I like how the map evolved. You know, you would fight in one section, you'd move on to another sector. And it was really, really good. But, for some reason, they cut the player base down, they have all these heavy tanks. There's so many things that are really, really hurting that game type right now that it's just the least favorite option out there. Why they put it under the knife, I have no clue. The only guess that I could present to you guys is that there's a new sibling, and that comes in the form of operations, right? This new baby's born, and you forget all about the first one, right? It's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm an only child. At least I think I am. And it's one of those things that everybody gets so hyped on this, so I feel like they may have actually tweaked Rush to intentionally promote operations. Or at least altering the foundation of Rush so that it's not so much like their new game type, so more people flock and try operations out. It's the only thing that I can think of that makes some sort of sense. Honestly, I don't know why they changed Rush at all. There's no need to. When people started experimenting with Team Deathmatch and came up with kill confirmed and things like this, Team Deathmatch stayed the same, so I don't know why they would alter Rush at all, but either way, that's where we are right now. So I'm here to talk about how I think they can improve on Rush, what they need to do for the future, and bring back what was really, really good. For those that are relatively new to Battlefield 1 and haven't been here since the beta and the launch and everything like that, Conquest was actually tweaked at the start of Battlefield 1. You may not have known this, but the community wasn't having it. They were completely upset. They were like, no, DICE, put it back to how it was. And it wasn't a major change, nothing like what Rush has experienced. I mean, a severe cut to the player count. We're, what, 24 players? That's 12v12? What? This is insane. Why would they do that? And this kind of restriction isn't necessary because you completely alter the entire course of the game, but eventually the community stood up and they said, hey, we need to band together, we need to get what is Conquest back to Conquest. And they did, and DICE said they listened, they were just trying to do something different, and unfortunately it's not so easy to get away with changing something that is so rooted in the history. Battlefield is known for Rush and Conquest, and when you fuck with the foundation, well, your community gets mad. And things like that happen, videos like this get made, and that's how it all comes down. And I miss Rush. I mean, as much as I love Domination, Domination is great for these maps. Well designed. Conquest is solid, with the exception of Behemoths. I feel like they should stay in operations, but for the most part, I don't think you should alter the successful game types. It's one thing messing around with metas and guns, but you don't fuck with a game type unless you alter it in a way that you create an entirely new one, kind of like how Kill Confirmed came from Team Deathmatch, and you know, you kind of give it its own entity without messing with what the original was, you know what I mean? So I feel like Rush needs to either be bumped back up to 64 player, and they keep everything as is, or they maybe bump it up to 40 player, something like that. Maybe give a little bit of a player boost, make it 16v16, 32-man, and then remove heavy tanks. That's the only way I can think this works, because heavy tanks, any tank, I mean, if you get rid of heavy tanks or nerf those, then the land ships are going to be ridiculous. But basically, armor on these low player counts are absolutely absurd, because they just sit back, they camp, and they pick people apart. They're not really used, and if they are used offensively, they pretty much completely wipe entire teams. It's just, they're too dominant in Rush, because there's not enough people focusing the armor, and if they stay back, there's no way that you can get enough damage in before they can just slowly reverse, repair, and come right back in and punish you all over again. It's just, the new mechanics in the game do not go well with how the Rush game type plays and operates. So, something has to happen. They need to improve the player count. That way there are more people to take on the armor so that the flow is crazy, the Havoc's there, and then that's great. But then again, you create the idea that this is going to be a lot like Operations, barring the whole Conquest sort of way of capturing the objectives. And then that may not be something they want to have. They probably wanted to separate the two, and there's no sort of overlap in that. But I don't know what they were going for. All I know is I want Rush back. Not that I want Operations to change or anything like that. I don't see why this happened. So this is my idea, is that we need to get out there, we need to talk a little bit about this, and this needs to be heard, just like it was with Conquest. There's nobody saying anything about this. I mean, they just, in passing, yeah, Rush sucks. And that's about it. But if we want it to change and we want this back in rotation, we need to actually do something about this. So start contacting the developers, get on the forums, let people know that Rush is an amazing game type, and you're going to see it in this gameplay. When there were no tanks involved, this is some crazy, fun, hectic gameplay, and this is something you don't get from Conquest. Conquest is just merely a big game of ring around the rosy. You rotate to objectives, you fight a few people. There is no sort of close intensity at all compared to capturing and locking down an objective. It's one thing when you cap a point. It's a bunch of people, a collective effort. But holding down a point, planting a bomb in enemy territory, that's a whole nother level of intensity, and that's only captured from Rush, and that's something that I want to have back in my diet. I miss Rush. So that's my solution, guys. I feel like they need to make Rush great again. They need to put it back to how it was, just like they did with Conquest when they fucked with that, or they need to remove the heavy tanks. I'm okay with the lower player counts as long as it's just basic types of mobility. Cavalry, armored cars, things like that, but get rid of the tanks. So, I don't know. What do you think would work? Are there any ideas you have stirring in your brain? Leave them down in the comment section below. Be sure to snipe that like button, support the channel, and subscribe if you're new here. I'll catch you with another Battlefield video tomorrow.